Hey guys, do you ever get that chill running down your spine when you're all alone in the dark? I promise by the end of this tale, you might just sleep with the lights on. Maybe even check under your bed. And if you survive the scares. Don't forget to hit subscribe and drop a comment bonus points for clever ghost jokes before we dive in. Now, picture this, a late night rainstorm pounding the pavement like a relentless drumbeat. Alex huddled under the awning of an old apartment building in Seattle, soaked through despite the umbrella clutch in his fingers. He had just missed the last metro bus by seconds, its taillights fading into the storm's haze, and the empty street stretched ahead like a dark tunnel he didn't dare enter alone. His breath came in ragged puffs, misting in the chill air. Every gust of wind sounded like distant whispers, and the street lamp overhead flickered, casting stuttering shadows that danced at the edge of his vision. Alex's jacket, slick with rain, clung to his body, and each drop that slipped down his collar made him flinch. Yet, curiously, beyond the steady drumming of rain, he thought he heard something else, a soft thud, as if footsteps were padding along the pavement behind him. He spun around, nothing, just the empty road and the alley entrance where a stray cat darted across, its eyes reflecting the streetlight like cold embers. Alex swallowed, forcing laughter. "Get a grip," he muttered, turning back to the road. He took a step forward, then froze as headlights sliced through the curtain of rain, revealing a bus rolling up to the stop. Relief washed over him. Not the metro one, but an older coach. Its paint faded, windows clouded with condensation. The doors hissed open as if exhaling a sigh. Inside, the fluorescent lights were dim, and the rows of seats were empty except for one solitary figure at the very back, shrouded in darkness. The driver sat motionless, hands folded on the wheel, face obscured beneath the brim of a soaked cap. No route number glowed above the windshield. "Last stop?" Alex asked, voice cracking. The driver didn't answer. Instead, he gave a slight nod. Alex hesitated, a warning bell in his mind, but the rain had soaked him to the skin, and standing under that flickering lamp felt even more dangerous than an unknown bus. He climbed aboard. The door closed behind him with a hollow thunk. The engine's rumble was low, almost mournful. As the bus pulled away, the world outside became a smear of dark shapes and streaking headlights. Alex slid into the seat in front of the lone passenger. Going far, he ventured. But the figure remained still, head bowed, shoulders shaking as if in silent sobs. Alex leaned forward, peering down the aisle. No other riders, yet. He could swear he heard another breath, another shuffle, coming from somewhere up front. The overhead lights buzzed overhead, occasionally flickering out, plunging the bus into a dim gloom before snapping back. His heart thudded in the uneasy rhythm of the bus's wheels grinding on wet asphalt. Minutes passed. Alex's mind raced. Was this even a real bus route? He peered at the fogged-up glass of the window beside him. Lines of red rain traced patterns like veins. Outside, street signs hurtled by, some familiar, most unrecognizable. He leaned closer to the window. His reflection stared back, pale and wide-eyed, framed by the droplet-streaked glass. Then, out of nowhere, the sobbing stopped. The figure behind him straightened slowly, turning a face shrouded in shadow. Alex's stomach clenched. The head tilted too far to the side, an unnatural angle. The lights flickered again. The seat was empty, just an empty space, the fabric damp and cold. He whirled around to the driver's cabin. The driver had lifted his gaze, or rather, his head had turned, revealing eyes that glowed faintly in the dim light. No whites. Only two soft, amber pinpoints staring straight at Alex. A hush fell over the bus. The engine stilled, and the world outside went silent. Alex reached for the emergency lever beside his seat, hand trembling. Before he could pull, the bus jolted violently, as if running over something heavy. A sudden slam of metal echoed through the frame. The lights went out completely, And in that utter darkness, Alex heard a chorus of whispers, too many to count, rising up around him. He froze, every muscle paralyzed with fright. Seconds stretched into eternity, and the light snapped back on. The aisle was packed. Ghostly figures filled every seat. Pale faces turned toward Alex with hollow eyes. Some wore tattered clothes. Others looked like commuters, frozen mid-conversation. One reached out a translucent hand, fingertips brushing the back of his seat. Alex recoiled, heart pounding like a demon's drum. The bus lurched again, and the door at the front opened with a squeal, revealing a platform he didn't recognize and empty. Mist-shrouded terminal with no streetlights, no signs, nothing but fog that wreathed the ground like smoke. The driver spoke for the first time, a voice so low it seemed to come from the floorboards. Last stop. Every ghostly passenger rose in unison, drifting toward the exit. Their movements were slow, deliberate, emotionless. Alex scrambled from his seat, stumbling down the aisle. "Wait, I didn't pay. What's happening?" His voice cracked. The figures passed through him like frigid wind, leaving a trail of icy dread. He reached the front door as the last ghost stepped off the bus. The driver's head turned, the brim of his cap lifting slightly to reveal a grin, an impossibly wide, toothless smile. Alex's stomach lurched. He yanked the door lever and pushed, but the door wouldn't budge. Panic surged. He pounded with both fists. Lightning flashed outside, and in that sudden brilliance, Alex saw the terminal wasn't empty. Dozens of shadowy outlines lined the edge of the fog, waiting silently. Rain splattered against the windows like bullets. He closed his eyes, bracing for the inevitable when he opened them. The bus was moving again back into the night. Alex collapsed onto the floor, hyperventilating. The driver's voice drifted down the aisle. "Some rides take you places you can never leave." Alex pressed his back against the cold metal wall, breath coming in shallow gasps as the bus rocked through the inky night. Each flash of lightning revealed the same ghastly scene rows of empty seats now occupied by those pale specters. Their eyes fixed on him, faces expressionless. They didn't speak. They simply watched, as if waiting. He fumbled in his pocket for his phone, fingers trembling. The screen lit up, casting a weak glow over his shaking hand. No signal, no messages. Even the battery icon blinked empty. Panic tightened around his chest like a vice. He needed a plan, any plan, but his mind raced too fast to think clearly. A sudden jolt threw him off balance. The bus slowed, clanking to a halt in front of a gate that groaned open on rusty hinges. Through the windshield, he could just make out a row of bleak warehouses, their roofs sagging under the weight of darkness. A single neon sign flickered beyond them, Terminal 13. Alex bolted upright. Terminal 13, that wasn't on any metro map. He turned to the driver's mirror. Only the faint silhouette of the driver's cap reflected back. The amber eyes gone. He took a trembling step toward the front. But an unseen hand stopped him, the icy brush of a ghost's fingertip on his shoulder. He spun. But the aisle was empty again. The spirits vanished as quickly as they'd appeared. Lightning cracked overhead. And for a heartbeat, the bus interior was bathed in silver light. On the floor by his foot lay a cracked ticket stub, its numbers blurred by rain. T132359. He picked it up. Recognition dawning, it was stamped with today's date. June 7th, 2025, just moments ago. How could he have already reached the terminal? He hadn't moved. The rain intensified, pounding against the windows like hail. A low hum rose from the engine, becoming a mournful wail as the bus doors slid open on their own. The terminal beyond seemed to stretch into infinity. Rows of empty chairs disappearing into a fog so thick it felt solid. Alex's heart pounded against his ribs. He forced himself to his feet, gripping the back of a seat for support. Each step toward the door felt like trudging through water. With one final thunderclap, he crossed the threshold into Terminal 13. The door slammed shut behind him, plunging him into the same dim gloom. He spun, expecting the bus to be gone, but through the glass he saw it, waiting engine silent. Lights off. A dark silhouette in the storm. No driver, no passengers, just the hulking shape of a bus that shouldn't exist. Alex glanced down at the ticket stub again. The time had changed now. It read, Beresher 00. Midnight. The moment the clock fully turned over, he heard it, a soft, metallic click behind him. Turning slowly, he saw the gate closing. Shackles of iron crawling along the ground like serpents. He tried the door locked. Feet pounding on concrete echoed from deeper within the terminal. Something was coming. He could feel its weight in the air, a presence darker than the night. Moving closer, a whisper of wings. Or was it the scuff of dragging chains? His mind screamed to run, but every exit seemed to vanish in the fog. A distant voice called his name, echoing through the empty hall.
Alex. It was soft. Familiar. Like someone calling from a half-remembered dream.
He strained to focus, heart hammering. The voice came again. Closer, Alex. Help me. His blood ran cold. It sounded just like his sister's voice.
But she was thousands of miles away. At college.
He froze as a shape emerged from the mist. A young woman in a drenched gray hoodie. Eyes hollow. Lips stained red with something dark.
She lifted a hand, beckoning.
Alex, she whispered. You shouldn't have come. He reached out, but the image shattered like glass into 1,000 droplets.
The fog swallowed her, and the terminal returned to silent emptiness.
Rainwater dripped through cracks in the ceiling, pooling at his feet, heart pounding. Alex backed away from where she'd stood. There was only one thought left in his mind. He had to get off this bus. But Terminal 13 held him fast, and the midnight ride was only just beginning. A low rumble began beneath the floor, a vibration that resonated deep in Alex's bones. The terminal lights flickered violently. Overhead, a single ancient loudspeaker crackled to life, emitting a garbled announcement in a language Alex couldn't comprehend. The cadence of the voice was wrong, halting, stuttering as though something was trying to mimic human speech. In silence again, Alex stumbled backward, mind racing. Find a phone, find a way out. He darted between the rows of metal benches, their surfaces slick with moisture.
The fog thickened with every step, clinging to his skin, seeping into his lungs.
He coughed hard, the sound swallowed by the oppressive atmosphere. Ahead, a faint glow appeared, an old payphone mounted on a cracked pillar. Hope flared. He sprinted toward it, grabbed the receiver, and slammed coins into the slot with shaking fingers. The dial tone buzzed faintly in his ear. He punched in his sister's number. 1 ring, 2 rings.
Hello?
Her voice was faint, distorted.
Emma, it's me, Alex. You have to help me. I'm trapped.
Static surged, drowning out the words. Then a second voice layered over hers, guttural and cold. You will ride until you belong.
The line went dead.
Alex dropped the receiver, heart hammering, breath coming in ragged gasps. The lights dimmed. A shadow flickered across the terminal floor, long and thin, then another. Shapes were gathering in the fog, figures with hollow sockets where eyes should be, faces stretched in eternal screams. Alex turned to run straight into a wall of cold air.
Before him now stood an old man in a torn conductor's uniform, skin pale and bloated like something long dead.
His lips moved silently, but the voice boomed in Alex's mind. Ticket, please. Alex instinctively held up the stub. The conductor's eyes locked onto his, and in that gaze, Alex saw the truth. Each passenger was a soul trapped by their own guilt, regrets, unfinished business. The bus fed on it, drawing in the lost, the lonely, those desperate enough to board. He yanked the ticket away and sprinted toward the bus entrance. The fog clawed at his limbs, slowing him. Whispers surrounded him now. Stay. Ride with us. You're one of us now. The doors of the bus creaked open just as his strength gave out. With a desperate lunge, he threw himself inside. The lights flared to life, blinding. The driver was back, hands gripping the wheel. Eyes twin pinpricks of orange flame. Back so soon, the driver rasped.
Alex crawled toward the front, gasping.
I want off this bus, let me go, he shouted. The driver's smile widened. You were never on the bus, son. You're part of the route now.
The world outside dissolved into darkness.
Alex slammed his fist against the door, screaming. Then something caught his eye, etched into the glass by a finger trembling with cold. Remember the mirror. He spun around. At the rear of the bus, between two flickering lights, hung a small rectangular mirror. His reflection stared back, eyes wide, face drained of color.
But behind him stood a figure, a gaunt woman in a soaked gray hoodie. Emma.
Her voice echoed in his mind. You must remember. Alex crawled toward the mirror. The air thickened, pressing down. Each breath burned. He reached out, palm against the glass. The reflection shimmered, warped. Suddenly, the bus jolted violently. The driver's voice roared, "No!" A blinding flash enveloped him. When Alex opened his eyes, he lay sprawled on a wet sidewalk. Rain poured down. The street was empty. No bus, no terminal, just the distant hum of traffic and the glow of familiar streetlights. He sat up slowly, shaking. In his palm, damp and wrinkled, was the ticket stub T13-2359. Alex stumbled home, mind numb. But the nightmare wasn't over.
That night, as thunder rattled his windows, he glanced at the hallway mirror behind his reflection. The faint outline of a bus seat flickered in the glass.
And from deep within the shadows, a voice whispered, "Next time, we won't let you off so easy."
And that, my friends, is the story of the last bus to oblivion.
I don't know about you, but after hearing this, I might just walk home next time, no matter how hard it's raining. You see, sometimes the scariest journeys aren't about where you're going, but about what you might bring back with you. Perhaps the next time you glance at a mirror late at night, you'll think twice about what's staring back. Life moves fast, and we often board things we're not ready for. Choices, regrets, even the occasional haunted bus. The real lessons: stay present, stay aware, and maybe, just maybe, avoid that midnight ride. So, if you've survived this story with your soul intact, do me a favor, leave a comment below. Drop a ghost emoji. Share your scariest late night experience. Or just type, "I'm still here so I know you made it." Until next time, sleep tight. And remember, some rides never end. See you in the next one.